Did the Eagles need to clean house right now?
Yes, they do. It's obvious. I mean, when you say clean house, there are three guys you're talking about, right, in any organization: the GM, the coach, the quarterback. And I've been saying for a while now that thanks to Dan Orlovsky primarily in the media, but many media enablers and guys on the team, obviously maybe the owner, Wentz has been enabled. He's been enabled. And last year when you had a bad performance down the stretch, he was told he was having a great performance down the stretch. And that's why he makes comments at press conferences like, this is just the way we do things around here. You know, his poor decision making and all that stuff. So Wentz, who needed to be benched weeks and weeks ago, as I suggested and had been suggesting for weeks, to be held accountable to the team, the way Donovan McNabb was, the season after the benching, took them to his 5th NFC championship game, which they almost won, right? Like, instead of doing something like that, they just continue to enable Wentz. It's too late now. He's too messed up. Wentz got to go. He's not good. He hasn't outplayed a single opponent statistically all season. Not one. He's always outplayed by the opposition every single game. His mechanics are bad. His decision-making's bad, et cetera, et cetera. Internal clock is bad. I've been over all of this. But Peterson was also awful. And the way Peterson was coaching, it seemed to me, he's like, I don't want any part of this. You go for it on 4th down in Seattle territory when you're down 11 instead of kicking a field goal there. And I'm all for being aggressive, but there's situational football. You don't use your running backs at all. Like, I understand not using your running backs on 1st down. It's predictable and this and that. But like, you have a competent running game. You don't go to it at all. Okay, Carson, you want to run your offense? Go ahead. Here, do your thing. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. If Jalen Hurts comes in, pre-snap penalty, puts him in a hole, but he completes a 6-yard pass, which is more than twice the yards that Carson Wentz had picked up till that point. Immediately, Hurts comes out. Wentz comes in, screws things up again, right? What's that about? And then Roseman, not only the bad picks at wide out and missing the better guys and picking the worst guys, you know, I get that, but the drafting of the quarterback in the 2nd round, Roseman has not done a good job. Peterson has done a worse job. Wentz has done the worst job of all. I don't think this is fixable. You got to restart.
All right, Max, this is why I love coming on, because I can absolutely stomp on your arguments right away. Cleaning house, there needs to be some type of cleaning coming up. Okay, you can't go back to last year and say Carson Wentz had good numbers down the stretch because he was beating up on bad defenses and not give him any form of credit for that, but then use last night, because I watched the start of the show, use last night's fact that he was playing against the historically bad Seattle Seahawks defense and use it against him. Can't do either of those. Number 2, you can't say that Jalen Hurts threw a 6-yard completion and it was more than double that Carson Wentz had in that moment when the first pass of the game is dropped and the third pass of the game is dropped. So, like, argument's done. Now, there's a lot of points that I want to make to the situation of the Eagles. I'll focus on 3. Do you need to clean house? The question has to come from the top of the organization and their owner, Jeffrey Lurie. Who within that organization do you believe can make you great again? Is it Howie Roseman? Is it Doug Peterson? Is it Carson Wentz? Because if you believe that one of those 3, 2 of those 3, maybe all 3 cannot be great again, then yes, it's time to clean house. That is not of my belief. I still believe the quarterback can be a great player. So the cleaning house thing has to be answered with who you think could be great again. Number 2, there's a big difference between a quarterback playing bad and a bad quarterback. Again, these are not excuses. These are just factual reasons. The offensive line has had 22 offensive line combinations this year. That's the most in the NFL. Not an excuse. That is a reality of this football team. They lead the NFL in drops. Not an excuse. That's a reality of this football team. Only Joe Burrow has had to throw into more tight window throws. Not an excuse. That's a reality of the football team. And they've only drafted one Pro Bowler, Molly, to your point, since 2015, and that's the quarterback. So do we think that maybe there's bad play by multiple players on the team because it's just not that good of a football team? My 3rd point would be this. Confidence is the most important thing in life. It's certainly the most important. And confidence in yourself, confidence in the people that are around you, and confidence in what you're trying to achieve. And so you have to ask yourself, do you think that Doug Peterson is the coach that can instill the confidence back into Carson Wentz to not miss tight ends down the seam, or to not be willing to take that shot downfield to Alshon Jeffrey, or to not pull the trigger to Rager 2 weeks ago against the Browns. Because if you don't think Doug Peterson's that guy, then yes, it's time to clean from the head coach. Or do you think that they've taken a player that some people, and Max, I know that you're one, thought that this guy was a Patrick Mahomes, a Deshaun Watson, a Matthew Stafford type of talent, and turned him into David Carr looking type of player right now? Because they need to instill that back in this kid. This organization right now has philosophical problems. They have schematic problems. They have systemic problems. They have evaluation problems.
Got a quarterback
and they have
problem.
practice problems. We can pin it all we want on the quarterback. Have fun with that. But I will tell you this, Max, for everything that I would say about the organization, listen, man, you and I have gone back and forth on this a lot. My daughter's 4 years old, 5 years old. Her name is Lennon. She had to do this project, right, where she had to find a bunch of L words because she's learning how to spell and, find out what letters are and sounds. So she had to do a bunch of L words. So she made this. And I said, you know what? I got to hold the L right now. So I had her make me an L. I'm going to give it to you this year, Max. Last year I had a huge celebration parade on your head with what Carson Wentz accomplished, okay? I'm going to hold the L on Carson Wentz this year. I'm not giving up on Carson Wentz for the long term. My daughter made me an L. I'll hold it this year, Max.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.